Attention all talented teens ages 13 to 19. Are you ready to show the world what you've got? We're excited to announce the latest global virtual teen talent contest, where you win cash prizes and scholarships by performing your unique talent. Here's how to participate. 1. Record a 1-minute video of yourself performing your talent. 2. Upload the video, link in description or comments. 3. Submit your video by the deadline. We're looking for a wide range of talents, from singing and dancing to magic tricks and comedy skits. So whether you're a musician, an actor, or a chef, we want to see your unique talent. The top talents will be selected by a panel of judges and will be announced shortly after. So don't wait, start filming and good luck.
And you're watching CTV on the Higher Learning Network. Grand Rising, and thank you for joining us today on the Global Virtual Teen Talent Contest for the month of May. I am here with executive producer of the Female Solution and the Media Connection, Naima Latif. So join us today, Naima. Thank you so much for joining us. It's a holiday weekend, so people are out and about. Not everybody's on the computer on the contest today, but we did have those who joined us, so we must show you them and showcase their talents. So today we will begin with our 13 through 19-year-old teens who live all across the world, Africa, Asia, Europe, Switzerland, Canada, you name it, they live there, and they send them in. So we're going to get started. But first, I want to tell you a little bit about why we do what we do. When COVID hit, we were teaching youth behind the scenes radio, television, and print production, which is now multimedia. They don't say that old radio, TV, print no more. And the kids constantly reminding me of that. So I'm reminding myself of that right now. Well, when COVID hit, we had to pivot. So instead of them coming into the TV studio, we put everything online. So that's how we get contestants from all over the world. And speaking of all over the world, these children are just simply phenomenal. And I promise you that you will enjoy them today. And speaking of someone who's been all over the world, our executive producer, Naima Latif, has lived abroad. So tell us a little bit about your travels with the children and your life experience, and producer of the Media Connection as well as the Female Solution, and on air everywhere. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I've had the opportunity to get out of America and travel the world and to meet some fascinating people. First of all, I am actively involved in an organization, a global peace organization, Heavenly Culture, World Peace Restoration of Light, which is headquartered in South Korea, and the chairman, Man-Hee Lee, hosts a global peace summit every year in South Korea, and countries from all over the world participate. And I've had an opportunity to be a delegate there 3 times, gone to South Korea. Well, actually, the first time I went to South Korea, I was visiting my daughter, who lived there for 5 years, and she now travels the globe and the work that she does. But I've been to China, been to Japan, been to London, where I met our wonderful Saturday host, Jana. So that's how we connected. And now she's working with us as one of the wonderful.
Now, I never knew that, how you and Jana connected.
Yes, this is how we met. I was actually in the media department there during an international religious conference, and we met and started talking. And next thing we know, I said, you need to be on radio and TV. So, but we also, I've had some phenomenal experiences. In 1994, I went to Liberia with the World Conference of Mayors, I was working with the Hebrew Israelite community here in Chicago. And so when we traveled there, that was definitely an eye-opening and life-changing experience. Just understanding that when you go to a place where you are not a minority, there's a whole different mindset, a whole different belief that you have the power to create whatever you need. Being in a different environment definitely helped me see the world differently. And I've also had a chance to, I've been a part of an international religious community with bases all over the world, 200 countries worldwide. So I've met Russians, I've met Czechoslovakians, I've met people from Eastern Europe, which I didn't know until then, that everybody doesn't know our experience here in America with slavery and all that. Everybody's not aware that happened. Because, they'd ask me things like,
really?
Where are you from? And I'd say, well, actually, I'm born in America. And I said, but I know I can tell you're African. Which country are you from? And I'm like, well, I don't really know because, and this is before DNA testing. And I'd say, well, I don't really know because, my ancestors were forcibly brought here and forced into slavery, and they wouldn't allow anyone to know where they came from. The children that they sold them away so that they would never know their original language or land. And they would look at me and go, oh, that's so sad. And because they didn't know. They didn't know that happened. And I'm thinking, wow, we're just assuming everybody knows, and everybody, we want to hold all white people responsible. People in Eastern Europe, they don't have a clue that happened. All the Polish people, you're upset. They weren't in it. They were not part of that. Eastern Europeans were not part of that experience that we had with the Western Europeans, the British, the French, the Portuguese. The Eastern Europeans were not part of that. So they don't know. And we should understand that everybody in the world does not know what happened. It was it was an eye-opening experience. So I've had a chance to really develop a global perspective, which once that happens, you really realize we're all the same. We just have a different experience, maybe develop different cultures to adjust to our environment, weather and other things, history that has been different. But we're all just one race of people, the human race. And then we're sharing this wonderful planet with all the other creatures that make life possible for us. So I've had a chance to really broaden my perspective and meet some wonderful people from all over the world. And I just look at everybody as family members, that some I know and many I haven't.
Now, I want to thank you for this education this morning, Naima, because you talked about the difference in the cultures in Eastern and Western Europe. And I was not keenly aware of that. Now, you talk about Western Europe, who did participate in the slave trade, and you said the British, the French, and the Europeans.
Yes.
And so that's the Western, from the Western hemisphere. Now, who is on the Eastern hemisphere of Europe that did not participate in slavery?
Well, all of those nations, and it really, first of all, we need to understand, get a globe. Europe is not a continent. There's one, Eurasian continent, and they're all connected. Europe does not have its own separate continent. And you know that, geographically, get a globe, you'll see there is no European continent. It's connected to Asia, which is the biggest continent. So everybody in the east part where Asia is, Russia, and all of those countries that used to be part of the Russian Empire. You have, Czechoslovakians, Ukrainians, Polish people, all of the Eastern Europeans, so many that are now independent from Russia, since the collapse of the Berlin Wall and all of that.
So Russia is part of the Eastern?
Yes, Russia is part of Eastern Europe. And Russians were not part of the enslavement experience either.
I'm so glad you said that. I just pulled this map up.
So look at German, Austria. We need to really understand where things are in the world. Now you look at where Ukraine is, and and all of that. So now
Ukraine, yeah.
So way over here where you have Portugal, Spain, France, Italy, Ireland, German, Ireland, London, this half, that's Western European. So Europe's over here is East, and you notice this all one landmass. So there is no European continent, right? So now you look over here, Romania, Serbia, Hungary, Slovakia, Ukraine, Lithuania. This is Eastern Europe. These people do not have any connection to the transatlantic slave business that was being conducted by the Eastern Europeans.
Oh.
And so their perspective.
You mean the Western?
The Western, yeah, the Western Europeans over here on the, where Spain and Portugal.
Over here.
And you notice that Spain and Portugal are directly connected to Morocco.
Yes.
Which is North Africa,
Right.
And so it helps if you have a globe in your house so that you understand that even though the world's all connected in one big circle, there are certain land masses that are connected to others. So those people have a history of interacting. And sometimes the interaction was peaceful and sometimes it was not. So we're all living out the consequences of the previous relationships. That's what this is. So you look at over here in the East where there's China and Mongolia and India and Pakistan, Afghanistan. So all of this is on the east side of Africa. And here, this area that is actually Northeast Africa, they've now called it the Middle East. Because I guess it's midway between the East over here and then the West. Then you have Saudi Arabia and Iraq and Syria. So looking at the map, when you look at where things are and you understand that the people who are on the west side of where the European countries are, those were the ones that participated in the invasion of Africa. And this is the west coast of Africa where, of course, a lot of the international business occurred of enslaving people, but also, and it has to be said, when people don't have scruples, they attract other people who don't have scruples. So you did have some Arabs that were into trading, and they were involved in the trading of human beings. So you see where Saudi Arabia is, and you see that area, and you see your Egypt. So you've got Northern Africa, where there's Egypt, Sudan, Libya, Algeria, and a lot of these, again, influenced by Europeans who were right there on the edge of North Africa. The trading of human beings became a business for people who looked at the opportunity to take advantage of warring nations, because you had nations that were at war and they would take prisoners of war and sell them. We saw some of that in The Woman King, a lot of that. So we got to understand that that's really what that was. People taking advantage of a business opportunity because other people were fighting.
Right.
And where you are in the world, you can see who participated and who didn't. Those who were on the East End, they were not involved in that process, and then China and South Korea and Japan, they had their own war going on. They had their own little power struggle going on. So they weren't involved in one that was involved with Africa and the selling of human beings who had been taken as prisoners of war, when you had the various nations fighting each other. So
wow.
Us learning history in terms of what really happened is crucial for us teaching our young people the importance of learning how to live in peace. Because when you fight, you not only affect yourself, you affect generations and generations coming after you. The pain, the anger, the vengeance, the destruction of life. So when you look at the globe and you see where different people are, and you see who participated in what and who's allied with who, but then you also see it's a whole circle. When you look at a globe, like I got a globe here.
I'm so glad she is doing this, because I love globes, and I always kept one at home, but I don't know how it got away. I let one of my students see it, and I never saw it again. So
yes,
not because we got it online, but it's good to have them at home. Thank you for that, Naeem. Appreciate it.
So when you see that this is a circle, and that it's all connected, it's all one ball. So even though we might divide up the land into these imaginary divisions, the earth is one body. That's why when COVID hit, it went everywhere, because the air doesn't divide itself along country lines. It just goes everywhere. We're not gonna, if we have a COVID breakout in Illinois, it's not going to stop at the Indiana border.
Right.
It's just air travels everywhere. So if you bomb someone's country and you poison the air, you're going to be breathing that same air within the next 24 hours, because the world turns. So it's stupid to attack anybody if you poison their water. All the waterways are connected. So eventually you will be drinking the same poison water that you poison someone else's water with.
Yes.
So war is actually suicide. You're going to destroy yourself trying to hurt someone else. The Female Solution Global Radio TV Show invites you to an invigorating conversation with our team of hosts Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time. Start your week with Monday Morning Mindfulness with Zelda Speaks. Tuesdays, Self-Care with Jody Susan. Wednesdays, Repairing Broken Families with Naima Latif and co-host Kareem Hamid. Thursdays, Soulful Solutions with Dr. Debbie Green. And Fridays, Health and Wellbeing with Beata. Saturdays, tune in 12 noon to 2 p.m. Central Time. First Saturday, Success Strategies with Jana. Second Saturday, Wendy Williams Esquire on relationships. Third Saturday, Move Around with Deborah. And fourth Saturday, Wisdom with Mama D. Join us Sundays, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time for Soul Purpose Healing with Beata. Call in and comment 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak to the host and be a part of this
you on Windy City Live. Yes, we do. Tell us, how did all this happen? How did this come about?
Well, I play me. I play Val Warner in Chirac, which is really cool. So when people see this movie, they are literally seeing Val, and I am a reporter in the movie.
We talk about the violence, but what can we do personally?
I think we got to be engaged, and I think engaged in a number of things. In our block, in our home, in our neighborhood, we got to be engaged. We got to fight the issues. We got to fight a government that is abandoned, whole communities on the south and the west side. We got to fight a governor who's cut out every youth employment program, who's cut out violence prevention programs, who's abandoned our communities and the poor and the vulnerable. And I think we got to reach out to our brothers on the street and love them and respect them and help them, not just demonize them.
I'll just say like this. First of all, give you the history of coming to Chicago and telling my jokes as a young cat. I'm 37 now. I started about almost 15 years ago. Elroy taking me under his wing, letting me do some jokes here and there for the radio stations and all that kind of stuff.
I learned that no matter what you do and how much of a genuine heart you have, and if you're coming from a good place, people are going to criticize if they don't agree with what you're doing.
Yo, what's up? It's your man Tony Schofield from 106.3 Chicago's R&B, and you are watching Men on Higher Learning. Now, I used to hang around with some men that was into some higher learning. It just wasn't that kind of higher learning, but I got myself together now, okay?
What is it that you do in your quiet time, in your meditation time, that allows you to bring us the films that you do?
I sit courtside in Madison Square Garden, world's most famous arena.
Grand Rising.
Hey there, talented teens. Are you ready to showcase your skills and potentially win cash prizes and scholarships? We're excited to announce our global virtual teen talent contest, where you can enter by submitting a 1-minute video of your unique talent. Here's how to participate. 1. Record a 1-minute video of yourself performing your talent. 2. Share the video on TikTok. Include the hashtag Global Virtual Teen Talent Contest. 3. Tag 3 friends who also have amazing talents. Submit your video by the deadline. We can't wait to see all of the amazing talents that you have to offer. Remember to be creative and have fun with it. The top talents will be selected by a panel of judges and will be announced shortly after. So don't wait, start filming, and good luck.
So when we learn this, when we teach this, when we help our children see the world as one body and all of us as one family, then we'll come up with systems just like with your family. Everybody shares, everybody has a part, everybody contributes. That's how we have to organize the earth, not these divided countries where everybody's in war and trying to figure out how they can benefit from somebody else fighting. That has to stop.
Right.
So this global virtual teen talent contest is really a beautiful way of us sharing the talents and skills of our young people all over the world and celebrating the gifts that they're sharing with the world, because this is how we should live all the time, appreciating what everybody has to offer so that everybody is seen for the uniqueness that they have. And when we can, and we as elders can interact in the same manner, then we'll create the kind of society where we can enjoy going everywhere in the world without fear, without worrying about we're going to be attacked or worrying about if we're going to walk into a wartime situation, whether it's urban warfare or a governmental declared war.
Right.
If we can all just, can we all just get along?
Thank you.
If we can do that, this world would be such a beautiful place to live. A heaven on earth. That's what HWPL stands for. Heavenly culture, world peace, restoration of light. And when we restore the light of our understanding of who we are as divine beings, then we'll create the heaven that earth was meant to be.
Amen. Teach. You are such a great teacher. I want to be in your classroom. Well, actually, I am in your classroom.
You're one of the teachers.
So thank you so very much for that, Naima. Very eye-awakening, because I cannot believe I am at the age that I am, or I should say the season in my life, where I did not really know what you just said about how I did know about the British and the French and the Portuguese, their participation in slavery, but I did not know about the other Eastern Europe, about the Czechs and the Ukrainians and the Polish and the Russians, because those are the ones that I work with every day, and I wonder why they treat me so nice.
Because they weren't part of this. They don't have that mentality at all. It's not in them. You know, when I first met some Russians,
wow,
I was like, they're different.
Yes.
And, you know, Malcolm X said in his autobiography, and he talked about when he went to Hajj, you know, when they have the annual gathering in Mecca, and he met whites from other nations, and he said it's like the white had been removed from their mind.
Yes.
They didn't have that attitude. It just was not there.
I couldn't believe it. There's a Russian couples that live in my building. And every time they see me, they speak to me. And it just blows my mind, because I'm so conditioned to think that anybody with white skin is against me. And that is the furthest thing from the truth. So when I see them, I'm always happy. And one of the ladies, she walks with a little walker. She's a little bitty old lady. She's real feeble, but she always looks up, and she always, her and her husband, and they always speak, and that brings such a joy to my heart. And it's an even greater joy this morning on the Global Virtual Teen Talent Contest to be able to share this with our children, because if I didn't know, and I'm a senior citizen, a seasoned citizen, and I didn't know, I'm sure there are some of them that didn't know.
Right.
So thank you for sharing that this morning. See, that's why we have the executive producer of the Female Solution on the show, because she has all the information. She just knows things.